Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us for what is now the 14th live stream presentation from Rowe Gallery here in beautiful Tlaquepaque. This is Series 2 and a follow-up of our great artist Dane Chinnock's piece he started last week, which you saw. Please chime in. Randy, our right-hand man, is here to ask any questions or convey your comments. And of course, this is Nickel Fritz. I'm Ken. Dane, welcome back.
Morning, Ken.
And I say back because you were in Mexico.
Yeah, in fact, I left here last Saturday and drove straight to Tucson and then down to Mexico. I've been there for a week, so I got a little bit of a tan going on here.
And so your definition of a vacation is working.
Oh, yeah.
And so this is a street scene from where?
Yeah, that's from, so we went down to Bahia de Quino, and it was an awesome vacation, just hanging out on the beach. And yeah, this is, I mean, we were staying in a house just right down through here, and beaches on the other side there, and sunset, and some fish tacos. I mean, it's just amazing. It was a really good time. Yeah, and I like to, whenever I go, I like to, make sure I get a couple of scenes painted in, just to, memorable.
That's your definition of fun, right? Is painting and doing this kind of thing in the field. So this is really wet.
Yeah, and actually, I didn't get, the crowd had kind of formed around me, and not that I'm famous or anything, but they were interested in seeing what's going on, and I didn't quite get it in, so I had to finish this one up in the studio.
Well, you're famous in our book, so.
Yeah, right.
And you should be. So I love the colors here, and this, I can't believe this orangey with the green complement.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it either when I saw it.
Stunning.
Yeah.
That's the actual sunset you saw.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful place.
Well, speaking of beauty, let's get to what you have last week. If you don't mind, in the meantime, I'm going to have you move this,
so you don't
since it's
drop
wet,
it,
over there, and I don't want to stand in front of it, obviously.
Yeah.
So. There you go. Wet paint.
Yeah.
So during the week, you worked. How much more time have you put into this, you think, since we left you last week?
Gosh, it's hard to say. Not a whole lot. I mean, it just kind of got some basic colors and some more shapes in there, and obviously I did some of the cactus in there so that I could hopefully finish it now here in this next half an hour.
Good. So I don't want to keep you from starting, so let's go for it, huh?
Yeah.
So the cactus is blocked in. So now are you working from kind of light to dark on the cactus, or dark to light, or what will you do?
I kind of try to get the darker in there first, and then when I put some of the lighters in, then I can blend it more. If you kind of put the light in first and you put the dark over it, just kind of blends all in and just becomes a little bit of a mess.
I love these colors you have here. It's kind of is that kind of a cooler burgundy, or is that?
Yeah, whenever you're doing a shadow, you like to mix in some warm and some cool in there. Obviously, it's a shadow, so it's cooler, but there's some of this reflection coming up from the heat of the ground, and you want to kind of bring that in there, and so it's not just a dark space. You want to put some color in there a little bit to bring it out and make it alive.
Okay, well, we're going to watch and see what you do here.
Let's see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I left the sky up there, so I kind of get in here and get some of this going on. Okay. But now I'm at a point where, I don't know if you can see on the photograph here, I've got some of this grass that was really neat when I took the photograph too, that kind of goes up in the sky. So before I get that in there, I want to go ahead and finish this sky up, and then put that grass in and do some of those prickly pears up in there, and get some finishing touches on.
Okay.
Gentlemen, we have Diana Ferrens, one of our regulars.
Hi, Diana.
Viewing already from Ohio, of course. Love Dane's painting, she says, with exclamation points. Such a talent.
It
Thank
is.
you.
Great to hear from her.
It wouldn't be the same without you every Saturday.
Bruce Grenner also coming in, as
Bruce.
usual. One of our regulars, Pat and Bruce, is saying the best part of these live streams is the wide range of techniques.
Yeah.
Rowe's the best gallery west of the Mississippi.
All right, we'll take it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've said it before, but we are so proud of our artists. I mean, how many artists can actually do what we're asking our artists to do here? I mean, it's got to be nerve-wracking to say, hey, Dane, will you come on the show? And you've got like a half hour to start a painting, and then another, hour or two later, you're going to have a finished piece. So it's nerve-wracking, but this is the level that the artists are that we represent. They're just, as far as I'm concerned, as good as they get. So we're proud to have them.
And I'm proud to be a part of the team with compliments like that.
Yeah, yeah. Well deserved. So now you're working with some blues, and I see look like a what color is this?
So that's one of my favorite colors. It's generally, it kind of depends on what paint brand you buy, but it's a cerulean blue. With the Gamblin oil paints I use here, it's a manganese hue, which matches more of the cerulean that I'm used to.
That's all Martian to me. Whatever you
Yeah,
just
right.
said,
Whatever you
it sounded
said.
good, but yeah.
So let's see if I can get.
So your paint is a little bit hardened from last week, so you can just move it
Yeah,
around.
it's really hard to tell how long. It's generally about 2 weeks, but sometimes the conditions are right. So oil paint doesn't actually dry; it cures. So there's moisture in the air, and the temperature and all that sort of adds to how quickly. Like these couple of paintings I did 3 days ago in Mexico are already. I mean, they're completely dry to the touch.
Oh, they are.
And I think that's just the humidity down there. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was surprised to find that they cured that quick.
Gentlemen, we have Sylvia Herbert, of course. So
Hey, Sylvia.
Hi, Sylvia.
good morning to Ken and Dane. You get better every week. Sylvia and Liam, and of course we're going to be having
Liam next week.
Liam
We're going
next
to have
week,
you
so
here.
we'll talk about
Oh,
that.
nice.
And Judith Durad, if I'm
Oh,
pronouncing that right.
Judith, welcome.
And she's asking Dane, are you painting with acrylic or oil? It's a great question. She just tuned in.
Yeah, this is oil paint, and I like oil paint because I can keep working on it and working into it. Acrylic, I find is actually more difficult. People say it's easier, but it dries so quick. It's hard to work into it. So now I'm gonna try to get a little bit darker as I go
So
towards the top.
the
here.
higher from the horizon, the darker the color, right?
Yeah, and that sort of gives you, if you painted just a flat sky, and sometimes that occurs depending on what kind of horizon line you have, but
Yeah.
if you put a little bit darker towards the top, it sort of brings you into this three-dimensional
Yeah.
plane that
That makes sense.
is more pleasing to look at.
Oh, yeah,
and
that is
brings
much
you
darker.
into
That's
it.
Beautiful. So you both get texture with your palette knife, of course, with the lines and the edges, and you're also getting texture with, somewhat getting texture with the color. Not totally blending it, but you're leaving it,
Yeah,
what do
and
you call it, stumbling? What is that called?
I don't know.
With a paintbrush, it's called something.
I don't know. I don't use
Yeah.
a paintbrush, so I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
sure, you don't need to.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, it's I like to leave, if I make this just super blended and really pristine and perfect, then you look at a painting and you say that's how it is. But if you leave it sort of open a little bit, then you bring in the viewer's imagination, and they can say, they figure out the problems that I've created, and so it helps them become a part of the painting.
That's a good way
And
of
that brings
putting
in
it.
their emotion, and then they feel more connected to it.
So their mind is filling in any blanks you may leave. You're just suggesting whatever entertains.
Exactly, that's exactly suggesting. I just suggest. I mean, if a biologist comes here and says that certainly isn't a cactus,
Yeah.
but when you look at it, you say, oh, I know exactly what that is.
Yeah.
I've suggested that it's a cactus, and with some colors and shapes. And
Hey, Dane, Sylvia's asking if you're painting on masonite.
no, this is a canvas panel. And I've toned it in the back there. It might look like masonite because of the color of the toning that I used. So it's basically just canvas
stretched over
cardboard, actually. But don't worry, it's all
archival.
archival.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm tempted. I cannot resist. I got to pick up one of these paintings.
Yeah, the only
Excuse me.
thing that's wet on these is the signature. I mean, they're completely dry.
So hand me that ocean scene.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is one you just did in
Yep.
the same area. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah.
Yeah, and I
These
was right down. By the time I finished, the waves were coming up on my feet.
Oh,
I
how
just love it.
beautiful.
I love it so much.
I love the textures you're getting in here.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of reminds me Maynard Dixon.
Ooh.
Well, yeah, it does.
Maynard Dixon. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it really does with his textures and how he stylized shapes and forms to really entertain your
Yeah.
eye, and that's what I see here.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful.
Thank you. I don't know if I can compare to Maynard Dixon, of course, is the most famous Southwest artist of all times.
Well, he's influenced a lot of artists, and believe it or not, he's actually influenced me with the shapes and forms.
Oh,
that
yeah.
He really, I've learned more from painters, I think, than anybody else.
Wow, yeah.
Because you have, what do they call the economy of strokes? You don't have the luxury of 5,000 strokes in that sky. If you did, you would muddy it up and erase all the spontaneity. And the spontaneity is what I love in any art.
Yeah, and that's why I like plein air, is because, like I said last week, you've got an hour and a half to catch all the shadows and the colors and everything, and spontaneity is key.
Yeah. So in that way, you're working from what we talked about last week, that instinctive level that we all hope to work from.
Right.
You're not second guessing what you're doing. You're just working.
Gentlemen, we have a question from our buddy Shirley. She's asking Dane if that smaller one, that beautiful one that's by Ken, is for sale.
It is. They're all for sale, yeah.
Good.
Rarely do I do a painting that I... Say again?
Call the gallery.
Yeah,
call the gallery.
Very simple to get a hold of these.
Sometimes I do a painting that I don't like to sell because it's personal. I like it. But yeah, if you want to
we'll
buy
have
it,
this
you can.
on the website, and the price, once you determine that'd be great.
All right, so I think we'll leave that like that.
That's beautiful. So even some of the undertones of the wash you put on the canvas is showing through a little bit.
Yeah, and that's kind of when you've got this underwash coming through there, it kind of will add a little harmony
warms it up
through the whole painting, then bring all those colors together. So I'm going to save a little bit of that, because when I put those prickly pears in there, I'll have to
there'll be a gap between
touch
them.
in a little bit there.
Sense.
Yeah.
So what is a prickly pear fruit called? You just told me.
So it's actually, we looked it up, and it's actually called the tuna of the prickly pear cactus. Interesting.
Well, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I guess.
I don't know.
It doesn't taste like tuna, but it does taste good. I've eaten it before. Yeah, it tastes like chicken.
They're actually really good. Really good.
They are.
All right, so let's see.
So here you're going to be painting the fruit itself with this color you're mixing, I can tell right now.
Yeah.
So this will be a real accent.
Yeah, hopefully this will kind of shine a little bit here. I've had too much coffee this morning.
Yeah, that's all right. It's hard to do. I'm sure we're trying to look over your shoulder too at the same time.
Yeah, no one look. I'm gonna finish this real quick.
Ken and Dane, we've got Erin Bernruder. Good morning, everybody.
Yes, good morning.
She's asking, how long does some of the paintings take to paint, Dane?
Well, again, plein air paintings, you want to try to do those hour and a half, 2 hours. You can always go back to it the next day to catch the same sunlight. But when I'm in the studio, I'll put a canvas on the easel, and sometimes it's 3 weeks before I get actually come through and finish it, because I've got three easels in my studio, and I'm working on several different paintings at a time, and then I'll do some plein air. So
yeah.
But that's the nice thing about oil painting is it stays wet long enough. I can go back in and keep working in on it. So
yeah.
And I have to apologize. I just realized that's Aaron as opposed to
good.
that's male Aaron. A-A-R-O-N. My apologies.
Thank you, Aaron, for chiming in. So
Yeah.
you're putting in the shadow now, I assume.
Yeah, this is going to be sort of the shadow.
So the reason you have more than one painting going at the same time is probably to regain your perspective if you come to a stopping point or a point in a piece where you don't know where you're going to go next with it.
Yeah,
you get away from it.
Yeah, that also, and yeah, let it sit a little bit, let it simmer, and see how you feel. Maybe you want to take a tree out or add a rock here and there, and maybe the color was wrong. And sometimes I'll take it off the easel and put it on my mantle and just walk around and look at it in a couple days and just think about it.
Problem solve subconsciously.
Exactly. Yeah. So we'll put one down here.
That's almost the same color that you have in the shadow of the rock, isn't it?
Yeah.
A little bit richer.
Yeah, a little more red in there.
Well, I love the complements of that reddish color and the green together.
I do too.
That
In nature, that's a real, I
contrast.
love those. Yeah,
yeah.
the prickly pear is neat like that.
Yeah.
I think there was one down here I liked.
Gentlemen, we have Aaron and the whole family, actually.
Oh, good.
Aaron and Amber. Sorry. Aaron and Amber and the whole family, all the kids, they're all showing up to watch
good.
the show, so it's
Well,
very cool.
Get your paints out.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Now let's see if this.
Okay,
what
so
this
here's
looks
some
like.
highlights.
Let me just stick my finger there.
Oh, yeah. Or against the sky, it is stunning. And you'll even go lighter than that, huh? Looks like.
Yeah, I'll put a little highlight right on it there.
And all that with a knife. The blade of a knife.
Yep. Yeah, when you get these little, sometimes a knife can be a little bit tricky when you get some little details
I would
here.
think all the time it would be
Yeah.
tricky. So my mother, I don't know if you knew, she was a amateur painter, and I grew up painting in her studio
That's
with
right.
her. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she had a great saying. It wasn't hers, but she said, if you wanted to paint an apple, buy two and eat one, because you need to know what it tastes like to paint it. Have you ever eaten a prickly pear fruit?
I have actually. They're delicious.
Oh, they are, aren't
Yeah,
they? Yeah.
yeah.
Just remove the spines. The
Right.
little- yeah.
I knew a guy who one of his disciplines for the day was he would cook his eggs and his toast and his bacon, put it on the table, and the discipline was he wouldn't eat it until he painted it. So every morning he's got a painting of his breakfast before he eats it.
No. So he could paint bacon and eggs really well. Huh?
Yeah, maybe that's a little extreme, but
Yeah, it might be.
I bet he was a good painter.
I would think so. Just out of being hungry. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, no. Put a little sunlight on those.
Now they talk about three tonal values. Some painters I've talked to, from dark to light, three values in that spectrum. Is that kind of what you think of too? Because you're doing the dark, now you're doing the mid-tone,
Yeah.
what they would call, and now you're going to do the highlights, which is the third.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Hey, Dane, Aaron, and Amber asking, do you ever use a fork or a spoon?
That's good.
As amazing as it is with a knife.
The
That's
full-
a very funny question.
It could happen. If he does, I promise it'll be on one of our live streams.
I'll try that, yeah.
And the
Yeah.
BJ Johns guys coming
Oh,
in.
good.
Paintings coming to life.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
possible
it
to
is.
move the camera so we can see him making the strokes.
Yeah, right.
Maybe I
There
can
we
move
go.
over here.
Diana Farrens, we got a lot of people watching right now, guys. Just
Yeah.
loves this painting so much. Her favorite part is that huge rock on the left.
Yeah.
Magnificent with the shading of the colors.
Yeah.
good.
A lot of viewers today.
And it will be on our website, and it will be available, correct?
Yep.
Or are you going to keep this one for your own?
No.
Okay.
This is for you, Ken.
Oh, all right. It's for the gallery.
Yeah.
All right. We'll take it. Love it.
I get a little more like that.
Boy, you're really building up the layers now. I can see. That's going to cast great shadows when we light it.
Yeah.
Wow. That is beautiful. Man, oh man. So what do you see now that you want to change?
So
What do you
like
wanna
I said,
do?
I'm going to go in here with a little bit of this and kind of fill those blank
Oh, you're
spots
gonna-
in.
Yeah. Go around the fruit now,
Yeah.
right? So it must be hard to match that color every time you're doing that.
Yeah, so sometimes I'll start out here and see
Oh,
what
sure.
how it looks.
Yeah.
Our good friend and talent in her own right, Jen Farnsworth. Just so beautiful, Dane, commenting, and
Yes.
she's just loving it.
Thanks, Jen.
Yes, thank you, Jen. Speaking of talent,
Yeah, right. Boy, as an artist, we're starving artists, and some of the art I see, I would love to buy. So as artists, I think I've talked to Jen about trading because I just love the coyotes
Yeah,
she does and the
yeah.
vivid, bright colors she puts in there is amazing. Boy, I think I'm shaking more this time than I was last week.
well, it may add texture though,
because
right?
I gotta make it all come together now.
Right.
Before, I think I just put some sky and
No
some,
pressure, right? We've been bragging about you so much, and now you're pulling it off. This is like magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is beautiful.
Well, that first Fippen show that I entered, I don't know if anyone saw me painting there.
Yeah.
That was a little bit of a nightmare. I've never been more nervous in all my life, I think. They shot the gun, and you have 45 minutes to do a painting and frame
this
it.
is
and
a
sell it.
quick draw.
This is a quick draw, yeah.
In 45 minutes?
45 minutes, give or take, like an hour, I think, maybe 45 minutes, hour. But they shoot a gun because it's kind of old, Southwest
Yeah.
stuff. And I put my hand up to start painting. I could not get that horizon straight in there. I was a wreck.
I'm sure the painting, well, that's the same year you won, what?
Yeah, was the
Well, Award of Excellence.
Award of Excellence.
Yeah, so there you go, shaking hands work.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, we got our very good friend and another talent in another gallery, person that participates all the time, Kim Corey.
Kim, yes, welcome.
Dane, she's asking you if there's any reason for choosing canvas on board as opposed to stretched canvas. It's a great question.
Yeah, so that is a good question. When I do a bigger piece or something in the studio, I'll generally use a stretched canvas, and I stretch them myself. But when you're doing plein air stuff, obviously size and weight, so I can slip all these panels into a little box, and they're super
That
light.
protects it,
Yeah.
separates them,
Yeah.
yes. So logistically, it's much better to use this.
Yeah.
Have you ever worked on a painting like this and have a gust of wind knock it off your easel or the easel fall?
Yeah, absolutely.
you have?
Yeah, and that's I charge extra for that.
Yeah, good.
Because what you end up with, like I've done these beach scenes, and of course you get a gust of wind come up and it falls in the sand, and then that's sand. That's not free sand. So I charge extra for that
good.
sand. It adds to the texture and the feel of the painting.
Well, let's not drop this on camera. How's that?
Yeah.
Maybe off camera, but not now. That is really coming together nicely.
As Sylvia guys coming back in, loving the detail on the prickly pear. Just the
Yeah.
right touch of color.
Yeah, that is really stunning. Well, in terms of drawing your eye to the focal part of the painting, that certainly does it. Little spark of light coming through right there.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, but you can erase it, I assume. There you go.
Gone.
There.
Stretched too hard on that one. Let's see now. Get some of this grass up in here, and how much time we have, Ken? We getting close?
How we doing? Probably another 10 minutes, 5 minutes,
I
something
better
like that.
slow down then.
Slow down. Okay. You're almost done then, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, I think so.
Five
What do you
5
think?
minutes.
Getting close?
I love it.
Looks
I mean,
all right.
it's up to you, but I think it's fantastic. I don't know what you could do any different. Oh, there you go. There's the grass that you're talking about, leading your eye back in.
Yeah.
Boy, look at that. Can we see that on camera? There, what that's doing.
Some great dialogue coming in from a couple of our viewers I wanted to share with you guys. Diana Farron's just saying hi to Kim Corey and that she purchased her Rapid Transit last week. So
Yes, she did. Thank you
great
so
network of
much.
folks here, and it's great to hear that.
We are so blessed by all of you. This live stream has been a tremendous success. Thanks to all of you for watching and making
And
it.
Aaron, the Boonroder's coming back in. Great depth and color, Dane. How do you know when your painting is done?
Yeah. How do you know?
Someone tells me it's done. Someone says enough.
Yeah.
Did I tell that story last week? My mentor, he was given a demo once, and his wife would always attend, and he was talking about that very thing. When do I finish? Because he could, you could just get lost in here.
Yeah.
And and his wife pipes up and says, "Bob, I think it's done." And he puts it down, and that's it. It's done.
He walked away.
Yeah.
Wow.
So when your wife says it's done, then it's done, I guess.
Well, we
That's
need
the-
that. We
the
need that
rule of
input.
thumb.
So you're boldly going right through. Wow. That takes some courage there.
Sometimes it can be disastrous, Ken.
I can see why. Not in your case, though. Well, that really brings a lot of dimension to it. We're talking about leading your eye to where you want it to be. That certainly does it. Now I see you dipping into some orange. You're warming this up.
Yeah.
Oh, and some of your prickly pear color.
Yeah, I'm going to bring some of this a little bit. I think it maybe is a little bit too bland right in here. I need to
Okay.
put something else
If
in
you
there.
say so.
If I can find the right color.
So this is kind of the harmony you talk about. Don't let me disturb you, but this is a bold move. I want you to stay focused. Wow. That is beautiful. Great color. Well, I think you're close, aren't you?
I think so. Yeah. Breathe. Mark's telling me to breathe. I do. I get a little
It's good.
into it, and I forget nature.
Well, I don't want to deprive anybody of seeing this thing finished, but you're really close, right? You're within
Yeah,
a few
I think
strokes.
I think we're just about
Yeah.
it's about done here.
So next week, Liam Herbert. Now here, let me grab some work of Liam's very quickly. You keep working.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so next week we're going to have Liam Herbert. And honestly, I don't think I've ever met an artist that was his work was so heartfelt and sincere and comes from his life experiences. This pendant for peace, and this is Leap of Joy, Rising Joy. I mean, Liam is an amazing artist. He will be here next week to talk about his inspirations. He's going to talk about a new piece he's working on. So be sure you come in. And we have a segment of what has happened this week with Simba in the molding process at Jeff Christensen's studio. So we're going to pull that up and show you guys. Dane, how's it going?
Good, Ken. What do you think? So,
I think you're done. If I was your wife, I'd say stop. That is beautiful. Okay,
yeah, I'd
so
probably say that too.
So the segment you're seeing right now is Jeff putting what is called the mother mold over the rubber mold itself. Now the reason being is that rubber is very malleable and it won't hold its own shape. So it has to go into a sleeve or a mother mold to hold it. So he's building a plaster jacket that will basically suspend that rubber in the right position. Now he's going to be taking the rubber mold off of what you see is the paw, and now that's the negative impression of that foot itself. So as like next week, you're going to see a really great segment where he's going to be pouring a wax from those molds, and we'll explain more about what's going to happen with that wax. So in the meantime, you know, we appreciate you guys showing up, and we love you. Dane,
you.
you're amazing.
Thanks, Ken.
What a great masterpiece. Live on the air.
Yeah.
Done.
Done. I will say it's done.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thanks,
Have a great
everyone.
week.
Great job, guys.
Thank you. That was good, Dane.
Was that all right?
That was great.